Good morning, afternoon, evening. It is good to have you. It is great to be back. This is the CRL podcast. We are back in action, guys. I know all of the CRL fanboys and girls are really excited to have this back. I'm excited to be back. My name's Austin Coop. I drive the 53 truck. My partner's in crime, Caleb Smith. He drives the 54 truck. Ricky Harden, he drives the 3 truck. Today we're recording on Thursday, July 16th, and we've got a lot to talk about, guys. Before we roll into anything, season 26 of the Truck, season 4 of the ARCA series, we want to say thanks to Goth Athletics, Grant Creative, Savage Sim Wraps, and SimFits for all that they do. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight in to the Truck series, which, guys, I'm a little sad about how it ended up, but it was a great finish.
Yeah. No, the finish was great. It's I did not finish very well, so I'll let you talk about it. But yeah,
I don't
that's
know if
that's
I want to talk about it because I got it taken away from me. I was leading, come up to the white flag. Will Bustler, he gets the victory, and honestly, they had a really they kind of had it kind of set up. I was in the lead. I knew they were going to do something, right? I just didn't know when it was going to happen, and the gutsy move to do it before the white flag, I thought was probably the big surprise because we had the second pack come in, and Jordan Trask and company they were hauling the absolute mail. Um, it was fun to be a part of though, and it was good to have our season opener start with such a way. Will and I we banged doors coming to the white flag. It was pretty epic, at least from my vantage point, and I hope everyone in the broadcast enjoyed some good, good clean racing at the end, even though I didn't win.
It was a great run at the end of the race there, and you did a great job up at the front. I was unfortunately on the wrong strategy. I stayed out at a dumb time and assumed there would be more cautions, but it's the clean racing league, so there weren't any more cautions, and I went straight to the back and had to take more fuel. So Austin, it was fun watching it back. You had a good chance at it, but Will did a great job. Second Pat got there right at the very end, and that was cool to watch them. Jordan get all the way up to third place, just about got it done at the line, and it was fun.
He did his best reenactment of Austin Dillon as well. That was pretty epic. I don't know if you saw that,
And,
Caleb, but he was in the fence and upside down, and I was like, huh, that's how that looks from the driver's perspective.
engine ends up in the third row.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully not.
yeah, no, I heard Ricky say he was on the wrong strategy. Our strategy, at like High Five Racing and whatnot, we were all gonna pit together. We were gonna, stay together, try to keep the pack and everything, so we didn't like lose the main one, which was Coop and all of them. Um, and yeah, no, coming to pit road, I could have swore I heard somebody say they were going left, and my pit box was in like sort of the front, because I finished sixth in the dash, so I kind of had one of those first pit boxes, and I heard left. I go down. I went down a little bit too far and just absolutely smacked Danny. Um, and then when I smacked him, went straight through, sped, went onto the grass, came back, got a 70-second hold. It was not the best night for me, uh, but you know, yeah, I'm pretty far back in the points. 28th, that's not good. But yeah, happy Daytona's over. I hate that type of racing.
you,
Sucks.
you hate that type of racing, but we'll go over it in a little bit. How the duality of the track is one of those things where you might have a good race and then you race there again 2 days later and you snatch a victory. Let's go over the top 10 here from the Daytona International Raceway or Speedway, Super Speedway. Wow, I completely messed that one up. Will Bustler, he gets the victory. Matt Dyer, and also Matt Dyer just absolutely being the best wingman, I think is something to also mention. He was with him the whole way. Jordan Trask and Dusty Martin finishing third and fourth was really cool to see. I mean, I wanted to finish at least in the top five, but they were coming with so much steam. Bobby Mantle gets fifth. I got sixth. Evan Kinney, he finished seventh. David Versicki feel like he had a quiet day. He finished 8th. Judson Curtis finished 9th, and Jacob Grant, he finished 10th. We can roll over to the ARCA series here, boys, because it is week 1. We can come back to a couple of hypotheticals in the truck series, but Caleb, you got the victory. I know you had your interview, but like, just tell us, like, you and I had a moment last season, and you told me you wanted an oval win back. I'm sure the people want to know how you and I feel about that Indianapolis, but we can talk maybe some other time. But you got the monkey off your back, and I think that's really cool. And just tell the people what they want to know.
Yeah, finally got it done on a track that has just left turns. Really nice. Kind of had a moment, like you had on Monday night, where I went door to door with Dusty. We bumped coming across the line, taking the white flag, and then just kind of made my move and ended up winning. Which one more win than I thought I'd have going into the second race of the season. But yeah, no, super happy to get it done. But yeah, really, it was an all right race. That's what I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, it was super fun.
You guys had to deal with it, and Caleb, you're one of the admins for the league, so when you guys were dealing with a lot of stuff, I think you had like come down pit road and like we're like looking at footage and stuff just to make things right during that caution period. Like, have you guys haven't had to do that in quite some time, have you? Like, it's
No, last night it was not good. Like we had a wreck on the front stretch, and a lot of cars had to go down pit road to avoid it. You get black flags, caution comes out. Um, everyone's you got to pass the pace car. Everyone's jumbled up. Everyone's pitting. It's hard to, everyone's talking over each other. It was kind of hard to make sure everyone was all right. And then we were all re-racking to go green, and everything wasn't set. So instead of having everyone go green and you know everyone be pissed off for the remainder of the race, um, I made the call to throw the caution and uh, get everything sorted, make sure everything was right, and me and Abram Ghost got it all figured out. And huge shout out to him because he really helped me a lot last night. But yeah, I mean, it was. Some people may not like it. We don't clear the black flags, but last night was kind of a certain circumstance in which half the field had to go down and they got a black flag. So, um, as for like, iRacing errors and stuff, we can't control that. But like, a lot of people had to go down pit road to avoid the wreck. They had no choice. You can't control that. So, um, yeah, I mean, after that, I felt like the race was fine. Obviously, we still had moments. But yeah, I mean, I feel like after lap 35, the racing was pretty good. That's what I'm gonna say.
yeah.
After lap 35.
I think I would agree with that, Ricky.
The fan in the stands, it was awesome to watch that finish. Actually, when you're coming down to the white flag, I thought that was the finish. I was getting all excited. You ducked out to the inside right there and just edged him back to the line. But it was fun to watch coming to the checkered. Everybody kind of piled in behind. So fun race to watch from the stands. And how about Danny White being up there in both races? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Danny White.
Danny's sorry about that.
I think you were talking about you mean Danny or your was it we were talking about, I think beforehand. Where's Danny? I'm trying to find him. Where is he? He finished dead last.
He
down.
I think you mean Dusty.
Yeah, I meant Dusty. Dusty was the one that was up there in both.
I'm like,
yeah, you're right.
He finished freaking.
Dusty he got wrecked though at the end of that one. He was up front and they were wrecking across the line. Yeah, he led 40 something laps in the ARCA race.
Dude commanded both races. I felt.
And
really
Danny
well.
was the one that finished second after they all got together there coming to the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a high five racing one too.
That's that's actually interesting that you say that, because that's 2 races the teams have kind of coordinated a win in a way, and I don't have a problem with that. You're talking to the guy who got beat by that. I didn't have enough teammates going with me on Monday, and you had enough push and enough Rex behind you to not have to worry about getting to the finish. I think something I really in the off season was hoping we could bring a bit more, especially to the ARCA series, was a sense of teamwork. And some people were doing it already, but we didn't have like official team points or anything like that. And I'm really glad that the league decided, hey, let's kind of incorporate teams back into the ARCA series. And these guys they're working their butts off too. And some of them aren't always up at the front, but if they can contribute towards team points, a lot of them will stick around for a lot longer too, and they'll want to be coming back on week to week basis, knowing that they're making a contribution. So that's cool to see that you two finished 1-2. Will and Matt finished 1-2, and they almost finished 1-2-3 if Jordan and Dusty didn't have anything to do with it. But speaking of Bobby made an interesting move on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think we can give the Big Kahunas Award to Bobby Mantle and the also maybe a complete dummy move as well. I think he would agree with that because there's, I think about the Marvel. I can't remember which Marvel movie it is, but he's like, I've looked through a million futures and there's only one way that this works, and that is the reality that worked for Bobby. Because I feel like any other time he makes that move on 2 laps to go, that's her wreck every time.
When I was that was two to go in the ARCA race, and I was behind Dusty. I was pushing Dusty, and I look up in my mirror on the backstretch. There's no one to my inside. We go into the corner. Next thing I know, there's this yellow truck that has emerged from nowhere, and do I have to censor myself here?
This is your podcast,
Or
brother.
hey. Oh no, I mean I just wanted to make sure. I said what the fuck? I was like, where did you come from? I was like where did you come from? And everyone's like, yeah, that was a great move, which it was. Like
Yeah.
if you watch it back, like you could see kind of a block was being thrown and he was not having it, and he just shot out of a cannon. But yeah, I mean, what a move. Almost worked. But yeah, hell of a move.
Yeah, he had the perfect run coming down the back straightaway there, and I think he got hit just in time to just had to shoot out. It was fun to watch the whole finish.
When you have a move like that, it's a credit to him it's credit to him, but it's also a credit to those guys around him to like see what's going on and to be like, all right, I've been had. I just kind of have to let this happen because he wanted this more than I did. I think like if I was in their position, and it's super speedway, you still have a lap to go anyways. If that was coming to the white, that may not work out the same way. But thrilling finishes in both races. I think that's what you love to see. I love that Daytona is on every season calendar. I mean, we're doing stock car racing. How can we not go to the World Center and have a bunch of fun? We don't have a whole lot to go over with points because it's just the same as where they finished, except for a couple of bonus points that are here and there. But I think right now is a good time for early favorites. I don't know about you guys, but I like looking at who was doing really well at the end of the truck series last season and who did well at the start of this season. And I made a pick before the season started, and you saw my notes a couple weeks ago, so you already know who it is. And I wasn't even on his team before I did this. I got picked up last week on that team. Jordan Trask is my pick for the championship this year. Ricky, what do you think about that?
I think yes, you can't go wrong going with Jordan Trask. That's not going out on a really big limb.
No, it's not.
But yeah, I like it. After the way he started the season, it's going to be tough. But I like a guy like Lane Hostler. He always is there when it comes to the championship. But everybody's got to chase Parker Collins, and so it's hard to take it away from him as well as he ran last season. He had a chase from hell, honestly, and still came out the champion after essentially just waxing everyone in the regular season. And I'm I'm impressed with what I saw, and I can't pick against him.
Caleb?
I so initially, it's kind of like Jordan Trask. He almost won it last season. I think the margin between him and Parker after Ricky brought it up, the the horrible chase, kind of unraveling. I think it was 2 points that separated them. So Jordan consistent, obviously started well, finished third, or yeah. So I mean, he's he's got the points. He's gonna be consistent. He's always consistent. Um, and he's really a contender for the championship. Also, I mean, Parker, he's gonna be on a tear again. He's really really good. It's bound to happen. Um, and given the way the championship has kind of gone the past few seasons, they go in twos. It's kind of how it is. Ross wins two, Lane wins two, Parker might be in line to win two.
Hey.
So it's just how it is, I guess, in this league for the past few seasons. Um, you know, for the sake of parity, I'd like to see a new one. That would be nice. But I think we're gonna have a really good season, and no matter who wins it, I think it's gonna be really really good.
I'm going on
Precisely.
the record and saying I hope Jordan wins it. I'm a fan,
Number one fan.
number one fan of Jordan Trask right here.
All right, you heard it here first. I would say that I would love to see a Jordan v Parker battle throughout the season, especially at the end, kind of like I was able to have me versus Altus fight in the Arca series last season. If we can have anything close to that ever again, that'd be so amazing. I mean, um, not to go too much into last season's Arca series, but me and him didn't finish outside the top three except for the last race of the season in the chase, and
Yeah.
we were only a few points apart, and it was not only stressful but super respectful. Like, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but I actually messaged him the day before and it was just like, "Hey man, good luck," and he was super like dude, like this is really fun, and when we can have fights like that, even down the order as well, like we can have close fights for fifth, sixth, seventh. Those are really fun, and not most people aren't paying attention to those fights, but those people that are in it, I don't know. That's kind of like why best of the rest is fun too, because it's like you get to have all these fun battles to pay attention to, not just as a spectator, but people who are in it as well. So it'll be fun, and I'm really just kind of a short thing here. I'm actually looking forward to seeing who kind of pulls out of line and starts to show good speed in the Arca series too. We'll be able to hopefully talk about that after Auto Club, which is next week. And Auto Club, guys, like one of my favorite tracks.
So yeah, Ricky's won there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm the defending winner there in the trucks. It was a fuel mileage thing, though.
Well, if
Oh,
we're talking
we
last
know.
season, you barely beat me for a podium. I think is where I finished
Okay,
fourth and you finished third. But there you go. I mean, if you
I
got
don't
third,
remember.
clearly a fan of it.
When I won, it was fuel strategy. It wasn't that I was the fastest. That's usually how that goes if I'm winning.
What what makes it good on the schedule? Like, what do you like about it, Ricky?
Well, I think it's a great track. It's really unique. There's a lot of different lanes that you can choose from. Yeah, you can save fuel there and you can make different strategies work. And I like, especially that we've got a little bit more fuel now to play with. I think it opens things up. You've got to manage your tires a little bit better, and less of a chance for it to come down to the fuel mileage. But it depends on how cautions fall. I like the fact that you can go a lot of different places and a lot of different grooves to make it work and make your tires last.
Yeah, yeah. And the multi groove part, I think, is everyone's favorite thing. Like some people like the top side, some people like going down to the very bottom, and the draft. Even if you're not, one of the top dogs, you can still hang with the pack.
Always huge runs.
And even bigger runs in the ARCA series. I think we're
Yeah.
going to see. I think to stave expectations, what we might see a lot of the similar things that we saw at Daytona this coming week for Auto Club, but we'll also see some tire fall off in that car and some tight cars. So that'll be fun to go over. I don't know. I'm gonna go. I want to switch over to some NASCAR stuff here in a second. Is there any other trucks or ARCA stuff that you guys wanted to go over?
I think we covered it all. We went over the points. Talked about next week. Um, yeah, I mean, I think we're good.
Awesome. We're gonna go into a somewhat controversial subject: the NASCAR draft package for Daytona. Um, Gosh, I mean, we've been wanting a lot of people have been wanting this for a long time. Some big changes, some big swings. Ricky, you were talking about it before we hopped on how it's just like kind of like finally, and then we also saw that there's no practice for
Yeah,
some
like what the hell?
yeah for
What? They're gonna
some
make a
some
change and then
reason.
not practice.
Yeah, I would love to just go on a racetrack and not have a clue what my car does. But this is a big deal, not only because they are making a big effort to try something, um, but also because of what they've actually done, which is take the rear spoiler and use. I think one of you guys, when you guys have it popped up right now?
Yeah, it's so they reduced it from 7 inches to a 4-inch spoiler, which is the intermediate package, which is insane. Um, if you really like think about it, it says it's got new spoiler braces, spoiler deflection device redesigned to accommodate the 4-inch spoiler. Like it's, I mean, but also no practice. You brought it up. I mean, I would imagine the car is going to feel really different compared to the 7-inch. Um, but I think we're going to see a big wreck because they're not going to know what it's going to feel like until the race starts.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be a little bit less stability there with a smaller spoiler on it. I think that's the right move, though. Those cars were so draggy that then when they got 2x2, they really couldn't go anywhere. There was, and then they get up to 3x3, and you're just stuck. It's a traffic jam. So the goal is to make it less of a traffic jam. You can actually build runs typically when there's a little less drag, even with less horsepower. And that's where the internet's gone a little bit crazy, is on the horsepower number. But you got to think, when the racing was good at super speedways, it was less horsepower than we have had over the last few years.
Yeah, people we look at the heyday. I don't know what the heyday is personally. I've liked most of the racing that I've watched at the super speedway, except for what was it, the locking grid and the first what's when they had those massive spoilers that were so big that they made them clear
Spoilers.
because they're
The big ass spoiler.
yeah.
They'll do your famous quote when they put those things out there.
When the spoiler was so big that they have to make them clear so they don't look obnoxious, that's how you know your spoiler's too large, right? That was probably my only time when I was like, we're not doing anything. We're either in a straight line or we're gridlocked and there's no action. I personally believe, like you said, Ricky, we're gonna see something. Hopefully it's good racing. But with a lower horsepower, if you if you do end up losing the pack, what does that look like? We could do a lot of simulated stuff on iRacing, but we can't take the wing out. I'm sure they can do that. They've probably done stuff like that, done a lot of simulations to kind of see what this looks like, which kind of makes me a little bit. They'll have their sim time. At the shop, so that gives me a little bit more confidence. But man, nothing beats the real. What was it in Rush where she's like, "How do you know what's wrong with my car?" He's like, God gave me a good ass," So like, I feel like all the drivers probably would like to have that opportunity to feel the car. Also, I love that movie. If I could watch that every day, it's such a good movie.
More of a Pixar Cars kind of guy.
Okay. Pixar
So
cars, Rush. I also like Ford versus Ferrari. If we're gonna go there a little bit.
I like them all.
anything but the F1 movie.
Anything but driven.
Oof.
Jimmy Bly. Oh my gosh, I watched that as a kid so much, and then I I grew up and realized that movie was terrible.
It took growing up to realize that.
Hey,
Oof.
Oh,
I didn't have very many DVDs back in the day, brother. It was Finding Nemo was my very first DVD. I was a bit older than what was age appropriate, but it was a DVD. And then yeah, then I had Driven at some point and I watched those two movies back to back.
I'm so old. I went to the movie store to rent VHS tapes. So
I had VHS tapes, but I didn't rent them, so I guess someone's a little older than
Yeah,
the rest of us.
I was gonna say I had them. I had them, but I don't remember renting them. I remember renting DVDs. That's
I remember ruining my VHS player because I was watching Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone so much and rewinding certain scenes like the troll scene. I don't this is kind of weird to get into because we're talking about racing, but anyways,
I love it.
short story long story short, I ruined my VHS player with my brother because we watched Harry Potter over and over again. Witchcraft.
That's why you needed one of those rewinders where you pull it out of the VCR. I had one of the Corvette rewinders, pop it
Mm.
open.
Yeah, it
For
would
the
do
V-
it in the machine itself, which I felt
oh
like
yeah,
was probably modern technology. But then it was like, then it got caught in and just, just ripped the dang thing all apart. And then the tape's all messed up and the gears are getting messed up and it's no fun for anybody. Well, I think that gets us to a good point, a good soft landing spot. Um, we'll go over every week. We'll go over what's new with the CRL League as a whole. We got a couple of new sponsors, and we're really excited to have those. All of our sponsors: Go with Athletics, Grant Creative, Savage Sim Wraps, and SimFits. We'll go over trucks, ARCA every week, and I think maybe not this next coming week, but Caleb and you and I and Ricky will maybe work on getting an interview set up in the next few weeks, maybe with a certain championship winner here coming soon. And we'll also go over some NASCAR news as well. But any other final thoughts before we head off, guys?
well, it's good to be here and good to hang out with you guys on the show. And I'm glad CRL's back. It was a long layoff, and I like the extended layoff. I'll say that it's
yeah.
refreshing. It's made me anticipate CRL a little bit more, but I'm ready to go, man.
That's the same. My off season, I thoroughly enjoyed it, albeit I am your restricted series champion. I would show the I would show the flag, but it's rough.
I don't
Um,
think I don't
We'd
think
have to
it.
blur it.
I think if we were actually to show it might give us some problems later down the road. So those of you who know. Yeah.
let's just say there's a large okay, it is a silhouette of a large man on a chair, um, you know, X's in a certain spot. Now, it was a 3 foot by 5 foot flag. I don't know why I got this big ass flag for this series when I was promised a calendar that I was gonna put here. Um, I don't know where I'm gonna put it. It's just kind of laying here at the moment. Um, but yeah, no, that's how I spent my Mondays. It was nice to have Wednesdays off, especially for the month. But yeah, no, I'm happy to be back. Super happy to be doing this for what is it going to be 3 4 months?
Yeah.
Um, uh, I'm really excited because the final race of the ARCA season, which is like the cutoff for CRL, is the day before GTA 6 comes out. So I'm measuring the release date for GTA 6 with CRL, and it couldn't have been better timing.
Wow. Okay. I'll have to link back up with you and see if you're alive after a few days once GTA 6 comes out. I'm not a fan of GTA. Hot
Oh,
take, I've never played GTA 5. So it's like Godfather kind of stuff right there, but not seeing The Godfather. If you haven't seen The Godfather, well, I'm just gonna close the podcast a little sooner than I want to, but um, well, I'll do a wellness check on you. That's for sure.
well, I got 11 days off. I went ahead and used that PTO. That's how we're balling. Um,
Yeah, someone needs to do a wellness check on this man. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'll
It was
let
like
him know.
well, with that being said, really appreciate you guys listening in at home. He's been Caleb Smith. He's been Ricky Harden. I'm Austin Coop. And thanks for you guys for listening.